Cold Beans Challenge, episode 22. Main reason I'm doing this episode now, can't really think of a subject other than one I had, just sort of to say, it's because I want to eat some beans because I'm hungry. So, yeah, this one's to do with how where I have been for a lot of Earth's progress. Maybe all of it. We'll get to that later, because all of Earth's progress might, sort of minus my birth, only be 2,400 years as a better average than 6,000 years. Because 6,000 years it might be really that we were in space, but I think it sort of says something a bit, doesn't it, about the heavens and the earth, between mythology and the Bible. So anyway, my point is, where I stopped speaking the way everything else does, still says more accurately who's wrong and right, without the trend of their language being the only one you can join. Just coming out of what I can't avoid of that, drug culture and not contributing culture. But my point is that because once I'm on Earth again, everybody is using a little bit of my blood, whatever we're calling it, a bit of my value to kickstart their nature. So everybody is sort of judging me like their god, a bit backwards. So if I want to say absolutely anything to anyone, they'll use what I would say about their behaviour, more specifically to be weaker, back on me. Which is quite annoying, and to catch up with that all the bloody way, sort of says I've got to we've got to put all the blame on her, so that bit's out of the way. And then, well, it's not about blame, simply say for long enough until they've heard what the different labours are to be someone, unfortunately, outside of what she does, who just has to pick it up where it's possible to pick it up. Something else that made me feel good today is that once another 2,400 years has passed since my birth, this sequence, everyone will feel more comfortable than her by one moment when we roll into that, after the 2,400 years are finished. Well, I know that's a long time, but it just finally would say we deserve something more than we just not had. And then all she'll have to do, and she'll have to hear the whole lot of it, what she actually means, and nothing else, to what she's done and what we've done, in the right order. I don't know if I've got anything else, to be honest. I guess I'm going to start these videos afresh when I get a better computer and stuff. But I've covered a lot on it. The thing about casting is that this is YouTube, isn't it? This is part of a supersede of greater communication internationally. There are all these little videos on here that only one has got views, because I know some of them have got views, but I know in this type of resistance they'll unfortunately be the strongest ones that are most resisted against. All these little videos here though, saying all this information has to be said for so long, will turn into something. It'll make your videos better as well, because that's how anything happens. It's trend. So the more better natured people there are, the less there's even space to corrupt nature, because when you go to lift your arm to punch or whatever, you can't, because everyone else has stopped. And that's precisely how we change it all. At the moment, I want people to stop criticising the hardest working people. You know, people like Donald Trump. You know, people like Margaret Thatcher. People like Mother Teresa. People like the Pope. It doesn't mean anything. You know, and they do it so much that anybody who is more sensibly minded can't even say it. Really, they just have to sort of like go with it. You know, those people in for a come down, which really means they have to observe and feel us speaking whilst not doing anything particularly until they understand what it means again and agree as they would if she hadn't infected them with a DOS virus. But they just, I know they don't really hurt people directly, but then what is directly? All of them have weird fantasies within themselves that they prefer to live in, so they will call themselves something mental and call us something mental, and if you want to be a part of the process you can't, because it will internalise by them in solo and they just sort of masturbate over it. But then some of these processes are what is causing the wars and the famine and the social differences more than what's been called to have caused it and been punished. So we are in an era where people like Banksy are not only a crime but more of a crime because of what he's just been doing all this time, and I'm still talking about it as if, I don't know, as if he's a victim, I guess, but you wouldn't call it that because he's meant to be the superior. He doesn't care about oppression, he doesn't even understand what it is anymore. And so he doesn't care about yours because in any order you are, he's taking advantage. So him wanting it to end isn't really something he can say whilst it feels so good to him on his own. So once we get rid of people like Jeremy Corbyn as well in politics, just not saying anything that all those working people want to hear, not saying anything that conservatives want to hear, not even saying anything the Green Party want to hear. It's nothing to do with anything but which things still make his stuff work. And it's the same with Martin Healer, you know, pretending to be the clean man of the underground. It's not true. Just the poverty hasn't touched him to really have to be that desperate because he lives off it. Yeah, and there is other ones. I realise that the Martin Healer one is just the one that's the most vocal, but they keep ahead of them, so they aren't the first ones intervened against. But once he's been intervened against, they will lose some of their power. I'm not going to say who comes next because I think it will take, some of them might be in a different order because it's hard to tell in this much compression for them to care about it the same way we do, or you guys care about it the same way I do, after being so hypnotised and subservient to whatever they want as part of whatever routine you're undergoing, even if you don't know it's for that. So there we go, yeah. Most of the wars are just people being passive and careless until it escalates into such mass that people take on the causes and don't even know what they're really saying because they don't know what the original statements were. We're like, I'm not coming out of my bedroom, this is something you guys want to think, type shit from the Titans and the Olympians.